GG's, Thundadas, hyenas, scooping out to learn from Scooping Steve was criminating y'all. I rock Luther King X. Don't forget the Kennedy doing his Milliman Mantra right here on YouTube, Thundada. We conducting ourselves in the most highest, Thundada. We in the elevator. Who's elevated? God's elevated. GG on our way up, Thundada. Life's what you make it. You can't love it, you can't hate it. It's gonna be simply what you make it. The data you heard. We're building our 2025 permits right here on YouTube. The data. We're doing our Milliman March. The data. That's just. So we're doing the segment. The data. ASAP Rocky got pled not guilty. The data. ASAP Rocky says that ASAP Relli, the data is essential data, but he just want a quick money grab. The data. Like, why would he go back and pick up the shows after someone assaulted him? That wouldn't make sense. Why would you fucking? This shit's all over the place, GG. You heard? Rihanna celebrating the data, so we got real righteous. The data did ASAP Rocky, you know what I'm saying? ASAP Rocky, you know what I'm saying? He was happy. The data. Who we need the data? Who we gotta take the data? Y'all gonna take Young Thug's? I'm taking Young Thug's lawyer, the data, because Young Thug's lawyer had a way how to fight the data. But this lawyer, the data, got caught. I don't know what if that was ASAP Rocky or not. Maybe it wasn't even ASAP Rocky right there, the data. Maybe it was someone else, the data. Maybe that was the ASAP Rocky.
Hey,
Relli, some people call you a snitch. What you say about that?
Snitch.
Can you comment on that?
Would you be a snitch if somebody shot at you?
Nah, I don't never snitch.
You never snitch, so somebody shoot at you?
I've been shot out. I got a bullet in my leg right now.
I mean, that's you. Where you at now, though?
And I didn't snitch.
Right now,
I didn't snitch, though.
Hey, look where you at.
From the desk of ASAP Relli, a.k.a. his IG. Gossiping is a form of entertainment for people who have no meaningful goals or purpose in life. Hate me, bring shame to my name, say bad things about me. I don't care. Your existence doesn't add any value to my life.
The jury in the above entitled action find the defendant, Rakeem Mayers, not guilty.
Not guilty. It's crazy because they asked, because they offered them. What you want, the dollar? Oh, they offer fucking ASAP Rocky 6 months, and everybody's like, yo, you stupid, the dollar. Why the fuck wouldn't you take 6 months, the dollar? Because if you lose trial, you get in 24 years. And that's wild, the dollar. But if he was to take the 6 months, the dollar, he would have to pay the millions that homie was asking for. That's different. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know what I said on this one. I gotta read this. Don't tell about that. Damn. I'm just sick. Don't tell about that. Damn. Go to my tailor, got me drip like. Go to my tailor, got me dripped up in the thing. Damn.
They already doing this song.
Hey.
The saga of ASAP Rocky's trial against, ASAP Relli has just ended, and as we all know,
You need them shit.
ASAP Rocky beat the trial, and the dynamic of the trial was just crazy because this guy ASAP Relli, real name Terrell Efron, I believe his name is, were best friends with this guy ASAP Rocky. You know what I'm saying? They both was like, it's not like they're random people to each other. You know what I'm saying? ASAP Relli was actually in the ASAP mob, and he spoke on, how in the beginning of the trial, he spoke on how Rocky never really supported him. He used to come only around he used to come around every 6 months, and he kind of felt blackballed and basically on some entitlement shit before the shooting incident happened. He just felt that Rocky didn't do enough for his career. Which a lot of people did not agree with, for the sim, and not even say didn't agree with, but a lot of people was like, still, that's your people. Him putting you into his mix with the ASAP thing that's enough of a cosign in itself. Like, what more do you want? And you know, some
They
guys
both got the ASAP name.
just be
How
feeling
the fuck
entitled,
y'all
bro.
beat
Like some
P.I. and
people
none of
just
the
be
same my
feeling
brother?
entitled just because they know you, just because they your brother, just because this person they feel they should have what you have, or you should be able to put them in some magical spot. Listen, bro, if it was that easy where anybody could put anybody in any spot, you know how many rich people it is? You know how many more rappers or just people who trying to be something in the entertainment business or whatever would just blow up because of money? If that was the case, everybody could just pay their way to the top. This is why everybody doesn't get popular. Everybody doesn't become a popular rapper. Everybody doesn't become get a lot of subscribers if you're doing YouTube or whatever you're doing, follows, you know what I'm talking about? Because you can pay for advertisement all you want. You can pay for this or get this website to post you. But if people not fucking with you and they don't like whatever you producing or whatever you got going, they're not gonna support you for real, bro. Like I said, if becoming a champion wasn't special, if anybody could do it, or if it was just as easy as this, hey man, put me on, man. And you know how many rappers got put on by big rappers and never, how many big rappers did Jeezy make? And Jeezy's a big rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it just doesn't work, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, bro, entitlement is a motherfucker, bro. It's like the betrayal now. If he's saying ASAP Rocky shot at him, I don't know about that. We ain't see that, nothing about that. And so we can't really speak on too much of that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like what happened before that, if that did happen, what was the lead up to that? We don't know that. But I know that him saying that, oh, he ain't do enough for me. What the fuck? He didn't have to do anything for you, bro. Just because he's ASAP, you're not ASAP Rocky. And on top of that, y'all niggas is grown men. Them niggas, y'all met 15 years ago. Y'all niggas is not 15 years ago kids. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas have kids. You know what I mean? And I just don't agree with that, bro. Like that was dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like the maliciousness was shown when ASAP Relli, you know, the text messages was revealed about how he in the phone call.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? They got him on the phone call talking about how much money he gonna get out of ASAP Rocky for this, and just the intent was just bullshit. The intent seemed straight extortion vibes. Like, my nigga, what the fuck, yo? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who doesn't go straight to the, if you felt that you were in danger and that you was hurt, that you was shot, and why you ain't go straight to the motherfucking hospital? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't add up. And then he puts that statement on his Instagram.
He should have went to the hospital. That's what they saying.
You know, you like basically saying you don't understand. You saying what it said. Basically trying to say, you know, you don't understand. Like, bro, it's nothing to understand, bro. That's not what friends do, bro. And fuck that. For one, and friends don't shoot friends. Let me say that too. I don't agree with that if that did happen, but we don't really know what happened there.
It wasn't a shot, nigga. The nigga didn't go to the hospital. That nigga didn't get shot.
The evidence was determined that he didn't do it.
He didn't get shot though. He didn't go to the hospital, bro. Like what? That was a fucking.
That's all I'm gonna say. The evidence determined that he didn't do it. But the things he was saying about that nigga wasn't coming around kicking it with me, fucking with me. Like, come on, bro. Like, what was he fucking supposed to do, bro? Like, he supposed to like fuck his girl, then come kick it with you right after and work on. That nigga has his own kid. And why is ASAP not saying this person didn't put me on, that person didn't put me? I never heard ASAP say that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gotta just hold their own weight, bro. You can't want what the next man want, nigga. You should want to have your own. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, when I went and did my research on it, I seen ASAP Mob posting ASAP Relli numerous years. All the way from 2014, they posted ASAP Relli. Happy birthday, his endeavors, and just shouting him out. Like, so why is the ASAP Mob IG account posted you, which I'm pretty sure is who you think has the final say in ASAP?
What led to the shooting? The data. That shit's already all over with the data. But let's see ASAP Rocky when he got his non-guilty plea, how he acted or what happened, the data, because I'm saying beautiful thing for people not to get non-guilty, no lie, the data. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't do it in the court of law. But This dude wasn't playing, bro. He wanted now ASAP Rocky ain't fucking with that nigga. That nigga wanted ASAP to do 24 years, Dada. Like, what the fuck? That shit hit different.
For the announcement of the jury's decision in ASAP Rocky's 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. Again, the jury deliberated for 2 to 4 hours today. We understand that will be read momentarily, so we're just going to check in, leave up the mics, and see what we hear in downtown LA.
What we're going to do, folks, is Deputy Bennett is going to give the verdict forms to juror number 1. Juror number 1, I want you to look at the verdict forms, and I'm going to want to know whether these verdict forms reflect your true and correct verdicts. Juror 2, I'd like you to look over her shoulder so you can review the verdict forms. And I want to know from you whether these are your true and correct verdicts. Once I've heard from both of you, give the verdict forms to juror number 3. Juror 3, look at the verdict forms. Juror 4, look over her shoulder. So ultimately, I'm going to want to hear from all 12 of you whether these verdict forms reflect your individual true and correct verdicts. Everybody understand? All right. Deputy Bennett, please communicate them all. Juror number 1, are those your true and correct verdicts? Juror number 2?
Yes.
Juror 3 and 4?
Is that LA?
Yes.
Juror 5 and 6? Juror 5, are those your true and correct verdicts? Yes. Juror 6? All right, let's get it. The verdict forms to juror 7. Juror 8, look over your shoulder. Juror number 7, those are your true and correct verdicts? Juror 7?
Yes.
Juror 8?
Yes.
9 and 10?
Yes.
ASAP.
Yes.
Hey, man, that face right there, Dada. Oh, that shit.
Juror 11?
Yes.
Juror 12?
Yes.
All right, all jurors have stated that the verdict forms reflect their individual true and correct verdicts. Alex, read please.
Yes, Your Honor.
The whole world seen this.
The Los Angeles Superior Court, County of Los Angeles. People of the State of California versus Joaquin Mayers, case number BA 508142-01. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Joaquin Mayers, not guilty of the
Not get the audience. Or you cannot get the audience.
Hold down, hold down. Verdict has to be read up to the end.
Repeat again, we, the jury, the above entitled action, find the defendant, Joaquin Mayers, not guilty of the semi-automatic firearm in violation of Penal Code Section 245, Section B, a felony, charging count 1 of the information, this 18th day of February 2025, jurisdiction number 9, 4 person.
All right,
Title for the cause, we, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Joaquin Mayers, not guilty of the crime of assault with firearm in violation of Penal Code Section 245, Section B, a felony, charging count 2 of the information, this 18th day of February 2025, juror seat number 9, 4 person.
during this trial, I watched you periodically. You did what we asked of you from the very beginning, which is to give both sides a fair trial, pay attention, use your common sense, apply the law, and base your verdict on the evidence. I know you took extensive notes, and you took this as seriously as any jury could. We cannot have jury trials without folks like this. So you certainly have my gratitude. I want to extend to you my best wishes. Again, thank you. The admonition to not discuss the case no longer applies. You can talk about the case with anybody if you want to, or nobody if you don't want to. Alex has your certificates of completion. You can take your juror badges with you. Thank you again. You are excused.
Everybody remain seated in the public. We're gonna let the jurors walk out first.
Not guilty verdict, Dada. You know what I'm saying? Not guilty. Yo, ASAP was super, Dada. Who is this nigga's lawyer, Dada? We gotta see who is this man's lawyer, Dada. But why was they beefing in the first place, Dada? Why was ASAP really ASAP? Why did this fight start anyway, bro? That shit different. Why the fuck was they fucking beefing anyway? Why the fuck really went and go pick up the fucking show? I think it's like all that shit.
Man can dream of a beautiful girlfriend, 2 beautiful children, millions of dollars, a booming rap career, and it seems like for years everything was going his way. However, one day in 2021, everything just had taken a dramatic change in the wrong direction when a former associate and ASAP Mob member accused Rocky of doing the unthinkable, shooting him in the middle of Hollywood at point blank range. Now police have found enough evidence to actually charge him with this crime.
Yo, that nigga fucking ASAP, tell ASAP Relli, Dundada, ASAP Relli, Dundada, that nigga look like fucking Megan Thee Stallion up there, Dundada. Like, what the fuck? He didn't do it or he did do it, bro. You're a man, so what the fuck are you talking about, Dundada? Like, how you switching up your story? How the fuck first, like, you didn't go to a hospital, you ain't do this, you ain't do that. Like, what the hell? What you want, bro?
And ASAP Rocky is very much in danger of losing his freedom, quite possibly losing everything that he's worked hard for from just one fateful night that most of us didn't even know existed. The evidence is not looking good, and it might just be someone who's closest to him that might be responsible for his downfall, man. We got to talk about the shooting and the trial of ASAP Rocky. But before we do, man, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 100K subscribers, so make sure y'all tap in, man. Hit that notification bell so whenever I post, y'all tune in and run up the merch at staysafeworld.com. Link in the description, man. Let's get into this. Rakim Myers, aka ASAP Rocky, is a rapper from Harlem, New York, who's responsible for ushering in a trill era of rap music and getting rappers to be more fashion conscious. However, throughout the highs and lows of his career, it seems like recently he's only been in the news for having kids with Rihanna and basically being one of the biggest crash outs that you can think of. From one incident in Sweden that got him locked up to his current trial for allegedly shooting one of his former best friends, Rocky was at a point in his career where he could have just been chilling, staying out the way. But now he's facing possible decades in jail for an incident that his former homie ASAP Relli is accusing him of. To better understand exactly what's going to happen to him, man, we got to understand the timeline of events through the eyes of everyone involved. And one of the craziest recollections from that night comes from the testimony that ASAP Relli has given in the pre-trial phase. This transcript, basically, it was given by none other than Megan Cundiff, the famous LA reporter that basically was involved in the Tory Lanez case and basically went famous giving a play-by-play of what was happening in that case. Currently, she's on the job right now giving transcripts of what happened in the trial, and you're not going to believe the evidence that has come out against Rocky. So we got to get into the night of the shooting. In the pretrial stage of ASAP Rocky's trial with his former homie Terrell Efron, aka ASAP Relli, details a traumatic night that left him with post-traumatic stress and anguish, all caused by Rakim Myers, aka ASAP Rocky. A former friend of ASAP Rocky testified Wednesday that the rapper brandished a gun and fired at him during a meeting on a Hollywood street 2 years ago that he initially believed would end with them walking away like brothers. If it was going to get to a fight, maybe it would be something very light, Terrell ASAP Relli Efron said. Instead, Rocky fired 3 or 4 shots at Relli, he testified, one of which grazed his knuckles. He shot, and I felt like my hand hot. It looked like a movie, to be honest. It was fast. Relli spent about 3.5 hours on the witness stand Wednesday at a preliminary hearing that will decide if prosecutors have enough evidence to proceed with their assault case against 35-year-old rapper who's currently had a baby with Rihanna and whose hits include the 2019 smash Praise the Lord, countless other mixtapes and everything else too. Legal name Rakim Myers, Rocky, is charged with 2 counts of first-degree assault with a firearm on the November 6, 2021 altercation with Relli, which was partially caught on surveillance video that was shown on Wednesday in Los Angeles Superior County Court, Judge Mary Lou Millar's courtroom in Los Angeles. Relli was the only witness who testified on Wednesday, and he grew increasingly annoyed amid cross-examination from Rocky's lawyer, Joe Tapakina. The pugnacious New York attorney who represented former President Donald Trump in his defamation trial with columnist E. Jean Carroll and currently represents him in his New York State criminal trial case regarding hush money payments paid to adult star Stormy Daniels. And they basically got into an argument just there in the courtroom. But none of this is going to change what apparently happened. Filed in November 2022, Rocky's criminal case could send him to prison if he's convicted of either assault charge, and his lawyer signaled Wednesday that a plea deal was off the table, and Rocky will take the case to jury trial if Judge Villar allows it to proceed. This is almost an exact replica of what happened with Tory Lanez. And look at what happened to Tory Lanez. Bro took it to trial, thought he was all hot, thought everything was going to work out. Now look at him. He's got...
Yeah, but he wasn't beefing with Tory, but ASAP ain't beefing with Mr. Jay-Z, the daughter, Mr. Jigga Man, the daughter. You know what I'm saying? Megan Thee Stallion, you know what I'm saying? They on this side, the daughter. You know what I'm saying? So they 2 for O's, the daughter over there, the daughter.
Decades in jail, and he's going to get deported. So if I were you, Rocky, I probably wouldn't take this to trial. The evidence against Rocky includes 2 surveillance videos, one of which shows the beginning of Rocky physically confronting Relli close up, and another that appears to show the men during the shooting, but is grainy and distant. Both were shown in court on Wednesday, as was a photo of Terrell's grazed knuckles. Several photos and maps of the area where the shooting occurred, and a series of text messages between Rocky and Terrell. In one, Terrell wrote to Rocky, "You're so effing fake and it's sad." It was October 28, 2021. Terrell was upset because he was believed that Rocky hadn't followed through on a promise to pay for a dead friend Josh's body to be flown to New York. 1 week later, on November 5th, 2021, Relli said he was in his friend Jabari ASAP Bari Shelton's car when Shelton took a call from Rocky. Shelton put the call on speakerphone, and Relli, out of nowhere, heard Rocky say,
"After all your hard work, you can't let anything stand in your way."
This is all over a plane ticket? This shit's stupid as fuck, bro.
I was going to say something, but then Jabari stopped me from saying something, and I heard the whole conversation, Relli testified. Relli said he messaged a friend of Rocky and told him, "I don't give a fuck about this ASAP shit no more." Relli described it as a conglomerate of young men with different talents. Relli and Rocky met when they attended the same high school in New York and were friends from way back. Relli said they were really cool and chilled all the time. "We had dreams, you know." Relli said he always felt he could talk to Rocky, even as Rocky's fame grew. So when he awoke to several text messages and missed calls from Rocky and his friends on November 6, 2021 at about 9:30 p.m., he reached out. 3 texts from Rocky read, "Where you at? Let's get to it. Stop ducking my calls." Relli said he was still groggy from sleep when he called Rocky and heard him say, "Where you at?" He testified Wednesday that Rocky sounded slick. Something about his voice, he said, just told me don't give my original location, Relli testified. Relli told Rocky he was at a different hotel. They texted him photos from the window to try to prove it. He said he agreed to meet with Rocky because he didn't expect a physical fight. Rocky's not a difficult person to talk to once you're face to face, Relli testified. Rocky So Relli walked, then jogged to the W to meet him. When he saw Rocky, he was coming in hot and accompanied with 2 other ASAP members, Elijah ASAP Ills Ulanger and Jamel ASAP 12E Phillips. He said Rocky asked him, "What now?" See, that's when Przomniak, the prosecutor, played the first surveillance video, which shows Rocky and Terrell pushing each other in the lower right-hand corner of the screen as Ills approaches. It doesn't appear
he didn't have to go there, you see? Homie didn't have to go there. What the hell you over there? Why did you go there? If you know your boy's heating and shit like that, you could have just, man, he's heating.
This showed Rocky pointing a gun at Relli. Relli testified Wednesday that Rocky grabbed his shirt collar. He then tried to push his hand down. What happened at that point, the prosecutor asked. He pulled out a gun, Relli answered. Who's he? The judge asked. Rocky, Relli answered. Did you see where he pulled the gun from? From his waistband, Relli answered. He said Rocky pointed the gun in his stomach and said, I'll kill you right now. What was his tone when he said that? I'll kill you right now. He said, oh, he was angry. Relli said he told Rocky to shoot him and asked him, why you brought a gun if you're not going to use it? Relli testified that he didn't have a gun on him because he doesn't carry concealed weapons in states in which he doesn't have a permit. He said the altercation seemed like forever, but I'm pretty sure it was seconds, Relli said. Rocky put the gun away because people were in the area and started walking away. He said he saw Jamel ASAP 12 Phillips with a knife. I'm seeing red at this point. I just got a gun pulled on me, and now I'm seeing a knife, Relli testified. Relli said he told Rocky how much he felt everybody because nobody is brave enough to say what they feel about him. They were in Vista Del Mar in Hollywood when Jamel kind of like jumped off the curb and Rocky turned around and shot at me. That's when Relli testified that he felt his hand hot. He said he stood near Ills to use him as a shield from Rocky after the first shot. Were you intentionally putting Elijah between you and the defendant? Yes, he answered. Relli said Rocky fired the gun 3 or 4 times. He was on my ass. He was trying to like shoot me, Relli answered. Prosecutor displayed the photo of Relli's hand with scraped knuckles. Relli said he ran from the scene, then reported the shooting to police on November 8th after returning a lawyer. However, Rocky's lawyer displayed a text between Rocky, sent Relli after the shooting and asked, Relli, what the is you talking about? Why are you telling people I shot at you? Rocky's lawyer also questioned Relli about texting Rocky's manager that he's getting rich. He was referring to a text Relli sent that said, I'm getting itch. Relli said he meant irritated instead of itch. The prosecutor clarified to the judge he never used the word rich. The situation basically took a downturn when Rocky's lawyer and Relli basically got into an argument, and Relli basically said, I thought it was a white flag situation, meaning everyone was neutral. I would never be scared of Rocky. It's not about being tough. You just paid to be here, he says to his lawyer. Me and this man have known each other for years. I'm not scared of him. Relli also later said that Rocky has to help ASAP Ills, who Relli said was currently a homeless crackhead. It took almost 2 years for there to be some type of movement in this case. Because over a year ago, once police had evidence to charge Rocky, there was a surprise raid on his house in Beverly Hills that essentially resulted in police finding several firearms in his residence, but it was unclear whether these firearms were involved in the shooting. The incident was the initial bombshell that had everybody surprised about the Rocky incident. However, the words of ASAP Bari might actually be the incriminating evidence that soon might result in ASAP Rocky getting charged. Because exactly a couple days after this incident dropped and ASAP Rocky got his house raided, ASAP Bari went on a tirade basically calling ASAP Relli a snitch on Instagram, which is one of the most damning evidences in this whole case. Because if there was nothing to snitch on, there's no such thing as being a snitch. With ASAP Bari basically coming out and saying that Relli is a snitch, he's pretty much admitting that they had something to do with this and that there was some type of incident. Because if he wasn't a snitch and he was just telling lies, that's not snitching. But if he's telling the truth to the feds, apparently, then that is snitching. So ASAP Bari definitely wasn't helping this incident altogether. But this incident has a lot to do more with the fabric of ASAP Rocky and ASAP Mob.
So he's saying if you telling lies to the feds, that's not snitching. You could tell lies to the feds. What? So you heard that?
Basically falling apart more than anything. Throughout this case, you basically see, Bari and others basically come to ASAP's defense. Then everyone's calling each other fake. And it just seems like everyone is basically in a crash out mentality that basically has them just fighting against each other for no reason. Between that and talk about ASAP Rocky and Ian Connor and him basically dissing Ian Connor as well, it seems like there's no type of loyalty in the ASAP mob. And yeah, they've been together and been rapping for over a decade now, but it's just sad to see the lengths that they have basically gone through at this point and what their careers have actually added up to. ASAP Rocky could be one of the biggest rappers of all time, and he was at one point, but currently he's facing allegations upon allegations of assaulting people and jail time. year after year after year that's holding him back to the point where he was supposed to release music.
They did him dirty, Donada. They did A$AP Rocky dirty, Donada. But how the fuck you go to the boys? You got pop, you go to the boys, not to the hospital. That don't even make sense, bro. And he said he was gonna get rich. Yeah, that's what fucked him up. All that shit.
We don't know what they're thinking, bro. This could go either fucking way. All right, apparently Rocky just arrived about 40 minutes late. But here we go. Should start any second now. Oh my god, here we go. Camera just zoomed in, bro. All right, another 10 minutes has gone by. Apparently Rihanna has now entered. Maybe that's what we've been waiting for now. Kind of interesting they came in separately.
The jury has reached verdicts on counts 1 and 2. And I believe the judicial assistant Alex has confirmed that, yes?
We were told they had verdict, that's correct.
You know Rihanna got poo all them people.
Yes, sir.
Rihanna made all that shit go away. Rihanna made all that shit go away.
Jury's walking in.
All right, we're on the record with all
got
present. All parties of counsel are present. Juror 9, you are the foreperson?
Yes.
And it is true that the jury has reached verdicts?
Yes, Your
On
Honor.
both counts?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you have the verdict form with you?
Lawyers, judges love Rihanna. How the application people love Rihanna.
I know his heart rate is up.
All right, what we're going to do, folks, is Deputy Bennett is going to give the verdict forms to juror number 1. Juror number 1, I want you to look at the verdict forms, and I'm going to want to know whether these verdict forms reflect your true and correct verdicts. Juror 2, I'd like you to look over her shoulder so you can review the verdict forms. And I want to know from you whether these are your true and correct verdicts. Once I've heard from both of you, give the verdict forms to juror number 3. Juror 3, look at the verdict forms. Juror 4, look over her shoulder. So ultimately, I'm going to want to hear from all 12 of you whether these verdict forms reflect your individual true and correct verdicts. Everybody understand? All right. You have to put these two in the forms.
No lie, A$AP was nervous. He didn't know what Rihanna was thinking, what Rihanna was going. He don't know if she found some shit in his phone, nigga. She was gonna. She never. You never know. You never know. Look, he was looking nervous. He was looking nervous, bro. He was looking nervous.
Not guilty.
I'm telling you right now, in the big 2025, there is no age limit to crashing out. If anything, this A$AP Rocky trial, which the world just watched in 4K, is a testament to that. You know, A$AP Rocky, aka Rakim Myers, had the life that every man could dream of. A beautiful girlfriend in Rihanna, 2 beautiful children, millions of dollars, a booming rap career. And it seems like for years, everything was going his way. You know, minus that whole incident in Stockholm, but we're not going to talk about that. However, one day in 2021, everything just took a dramatic change in the wrong direction when a former associate / A$AP mob member accused Rocky of doing the unthinkable, shooting his own former friend in the middle of downtown Hollywood and damn near broad daylight. Now his friend Terrell Efron, aka A$AP Relli, was both suing him and just went to trial to get him sent to prison. The state of California was able to find enough evidence to actually charge him with the crime. However, breaking news, as of right now, A$AP Rocky has officially won the trial and was acquitted and is not going to prison. You already know that's a W. And A$AP Relli is just looking like a complete crash out. There's no doubt in my mind that if the sentencing had come and he actually did lose the case, they would have completely cooked Rocky, just due to the fact that this man used taxpayer money and had all of us watching a YouTube live trial like it was a reality show for weeks just for him to lose the case in spectacular fashion. But thank God that did not happen. Honestly, just knowing the circumstances behind this trial is not surprising at all that he just won, because based on the overwhelming clusterfuck of ASAP Relli's testimony and everything that went along with that, it totally makes sense 100% of the way. But you can't say he didn't try his hardest. He almost had Rocky there in the first half. Bruh, honestly, I don't know how ASAP Relli thought that he was gonna beat Rihanna's BD. She literally came to the courtroom, had her kids playing around and everything for the jury to see, and it had them looking like a wholesome family. Meanwhile, this dude damn near about to square up with the lawyers and stuff, looking like, I don't even know, bro, looking just completely out of place, looking completely confused. It just definitely was not a good look for him, man.
You're not explaining the question. Here's my question. I see myself, but you're not explaining. So what I'm supposed to say is just no to.
But it was honestly crazy. From lawyers crashing out in 4K about to fight, to ASAP Rocky attacking paparazzi, to Relli talking crazy on the witness stand. It is definitely a trial to remember. But it just shows that this court shit is really like a Law and Order episode. So today we got to get into the beef that got ASAP Rocky locked up and the Hail Mary trial that got him almost completely murked by the justice system right now. Before we do, gang, I need you to do something for me, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Finna tap into this merch link in the description, man. Go tap in and cause some merch, and make sure you hit that notification bell so whenever I post, y'all tune in, man. So let's get into this right now. Off rip already, you know you're cooked upon arrival. If you're going into the trial of your life trying to get a bag for allegedly someone coming and shooting you, and your whole story is you went and picked up the shell casings from the incident when the police weren't able to find it and brought it to the police station days later. What kind of shit is, bruh? I've never heard of such thing in my entire life. I'm not making it up. This is the reality and what the ASAP Rocky trial was running with. Well, there were some diehard fans who were sure that he was going to be innocent from his defense. At first, I really wasn't convinced because everything was kind of in 4K. It was not looking good for him. But in order to understand how that even came to fruition and how everyone were even able to find the reasonable doubt in the trial, you got to go from the jump to understand how this all went down. So if you're familiar with ASAP Rocky and Relli's relationship, they go back a long time in the streets of Harlem. ASAP Rocky and Relli both grew up in Harlem, went to high school together. Rocky growing up in the 140th and Lenox Ave area of Harlem and spent his childhood with his grandma, then returning to Harlem in high school where he met Relli. ASAP Relli was one of their original members who was behind the scenes with ASAP Rocky at the beginning and had pretty much held him down throughout most of his career as a peer. Relli was more behind the scenes, like I said, on the creative side as a producer, but I'm guessing he never really got his big break. And it seemed like he always blamed that on ASAP Rocky and always just had some type of like animosity toward him. But they were still locked in for a number of years since then. But as unfortunately as it happens, time passed and it seemed like the relationship soured over several things. It seems like the brunt of this was the fact that he felt that ASAP Rocky was just not doing enough for his game. As you probably know, ASAP Mob has pretty much fallen by the wayside since their come up and everything like that. And ASAP Relli just felt some type of way about it ever since the initial fame. But later down the line, he would go into detail saying that all the other members were either broke or junkies. I think he would use ASAP Ills as an example at one point, basically saying that he was a junkie living on the street or something. And he had some type of issue with their friend ASAP Josh, who passed away, and his mom was asking ASAP to pay for the body to be returned. Relli apparently felt that that didn't happen or something like that, when apparently ASAP Rocky actually did pay for the funeral. It just kind of just all and around seemed like Relli was some sort of hater or something like that. But at the beginning of the trial, you didn't really get this sense, you know? At the beginning of the trial, just when you saw the evidence and how he was acting and how he presented the story and how the media presented it, you thought that he might have had a point, you know, maybe had a point. But you're going to see that that is not exactly what happened. But things apparently got into a weird, crazy predicament on the night of November 6, 2021. So we'll get into that right now in chapter 2, the shooting in question. So on the night of November 6, 2021, ASAP Relli would apparently be sleeping at the Lowe's Hotel in Hollywood when he was awakened by angry texts and missed calls from ASAP Rocky. This is his side of the story, right? Apparently fearing for his life in his own words. When he answered ASAP Rocky, he was probing him, asking for his location and to meet him. Later, though, in the trial, we would see the actual text messages, of course, and it would paint a more hostile picture that A$AP Relli was actually instigating everything that went on top of the fact that he posted these messages saying that like A$AP Rocky was like, yo, where you at, where you at, where you at. That's what he initially gave to the police. But in reality, in the trial, the messages were deleted, and it didn't show that A$AP Relli was kind of being the aggressor, which is off rip, not looking good if you're deleting text messages. But he would agree to meet A$AP Rocky and two other A$AP members, A$AP 12 and A$AP Ills, on a side street adjacent to Hollywood Boulevard near their parking garage. So when they all met up, they would all be seen on camera for the initial encounter. A shouting match would go down, and A$AP Relli would see that A$AP Rocky pulled a gun. He would detail that Rocky would threaten his life. That's what he said, as Ills got in between them and would cool down the situation. The footage would clearly see A$AP Rocky with a gun, which is no pun intended, the smoking gun for the whole incident, everything in question. That was the only evidence that he really had. It would then seem like A$AP would put it back in his waistband and try to walk away. But then he would change his mind and fire the gun at Relli. But there was a brief scuttle right before that, at which point they all ran off in multiple directions. Multiple 911 callers would call in saying there was gunfire, but when the police arrived where the 911 caller said the shots rang out, they searched for like 30 plus minutes and didn't find anything. This is the major point of contention, because many said there was no evidence of the shooting and that Relli planted it. And it seems very much so. If the police weren't able to find the actual evidence, then he probably did plant it. But that's later down the line. You see, A$AP Relli would leave the situation, like I said, and they would all run, then return to the exact area of the shooting and attempt to find the bullets, which he would apparently magically find the bullets. Shortly after, he would message someone basically admitting that he's coming for Rocky's money and he was going to sue him for everything that he had and take him to trial. Before this point, though, he would receive a message from Rocky basically stating that Relli was going around telling people that he shot him, when that wasn't the case. But Relli didn't back down, and he would file his first civil lawsuit against A$AP Rocky on August 10th, 2022, and then a criminal suit, and then that's where everything went down, where like the police raided his house and searched for guns and everything like that, and it just wasn't looking good for Rocky at that point. So fast forward from that whole incident, the whole trial came, and then it started, and it really just honestly looked terrible. And that's honestly the reason why this all went down. So first, when I present you the whole story of what happened at first that the media was giving, obviously you're going to come to the conclusion that, dang, Rocky looked like he was doing something crazy out here. Rocky looked like he was a homicidal maniac. Rocky looked crazy. But then in the trial,
the crazy part is, how the fuck did they have a scuffle, and everything was on camera, but when the boys went there, they couldn't find no showcasing. But how the fuck did he go back and find the showcasing that the boys couldn't find, and what the hell? How did he? Who is like what? That's different. That's mad weird. That's weird. Yeah, that is weird.
It started to come out, and it showed everyone how Relli really was in the close picture. So I already talked about how Relli had basically deleted the text messages that basically painted Rocky as an aggressor. The number one thing, though, that had people looking at him crazy was none other than when he was on the witness stand. He basically...
Relli's a weirdo, that dude Relli's a weirdo, bro.
Was looking like a complete nincompoop, like an idiot, like a straight crash out, like a dummy. It seemed like the A$AP Rocky's lawyer took minimal time just to get him to break out of his comfortable shell. And it seemed like the lawyers, the prosecution lawyers, did not take the time that they needed to try to get A$AP Relli to be serious in this scenario, because he was talking back, like asking what the questions actually meant. At one point, he was like, yo, A$AP Rocky's staring at me. He's staring at me. Tell him stop staring at me. But it's like, that's the whole point of court, is to be able to face your accuser. So that off rip gave the audience a bad sign. And it's honestly crazy because in the trial, A$AP 12 basically came up and basically testified too, saying that it was a starter pistol, along with A$AP Rocky's bodyguard actually came up and said that he uses a starter pistol basically as self-defense because he can't actually carry a legal gun. And on top of it, A$AP Relli's scars look like fist cuff things, like biting, like fist marks after fighting someone. It didn't look like a gunshot or anything like that. So later down the line, the lawyers were just grilling him day in, day out, having him look crazy. And it's like, what careful case that he had before that kind of looked like it could have been beatable and actually looked like he could have won, it just altogether just fell down the waistline. And I feel like that...
Was this all for promotion? You think that shit was the startup? Because the boys did say they going back and they ain't fighting none. They didn't see nothing. Like, what the hell?
Is exactly what happened to Relli that really just screwed up the whole trial. You know, he had it all in his hands, but the man could not be serious at all. And it honestly is pretty crazy that Rocky took this to trial. You know, he got offered a couple months in jail, but at the end of the day, if he took that, he would lose all his sponsorships and his career would basically be over. You know, he hasn't even been able to drop music in mad long, probably because of this whole scenario. He didn't know what was going to happen, what was going to play out. But thankfully, Relli's incompetence is what actually kept him out of jail. You know, if he had a more competent person accusing him, he may have just lost that. But bro had an all-star lawyer, and it shows at the end. So basically, all this went down, and then the jury went in, and then they deliberated. But I knew that it was going to be something crazy because of the fact that the deliberation was super short. It was only a couple hours, really. Like, it was like an hour. They said that he was going to, like, figure it out just several hours after. And guess what? They came out, and they read to the whole courtroom that he was not guilty. And that just...
Yeah, that dude's story is crazy. How do you go back and get the shows yourself? How the hell you don't got no guts? This was different. And that dude really does falsely accusing people. That is crazy. Wow, why you deleting messages too? That's different. Why you deleting messages?
Raw emotion as he tripped over, fell over Rihanna.
I didn't realize how athletic he was. He in a single leap went over the jury box. But I mean the spectator row. Look, that was raw emotion. That was happiness. You know, there was a moment where before we heard the words from the clerk, you know, he didn't know if he was going to be spending the next 2 decades in jail or going home. And so when you hear those words, obviously, you know, I know how he was feeling. We've been in communication the last few hours. There's a lot on the line. He has 2 little children. He's got a beautiful wife and he's got a family. So that was raw emotion. You guys got to see that, and you know, even for us, I mean, it was insane. So it was just very, very satisfying.
When you and I spoke earlier, you said there's a lot on the line, you know, when it comes to this verdict. Now that everything's over with, what's next for ASAP? What's next for the whole family? How did they get past that?
Well, they promised their 3rd kid would be named ASAP Joe. So that's as far as I know. You know, what's next? They're going to move on. I mean, they have a lot of great things professionally to do. You know, Rocky's really at the height of his career. He's working with Gucci, he's working with Puma, he's got a lot of things going. Obviously, Rihanna is on top of the world, and they have 2 beautiful children, and they have a family. And you saw them come together. And, you know, I took offense to the prosecutor Lewin saying that they manufactured some sort of appearance of a family in his summation. But I think the jury obviously took offense to that too. They were a family, and they were a family, and that's why she was here to support him. And that's why his kids came. His no one is going to see him again. And if this didn't go well for him, not that I thought it wasn't going to, you know, so that was just beautiful to see. You know, this is what we do. You know, we work hard, and these trials are hard, and they tax us and don't sleep. But at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. That's why I went to law school. That's why he went to law school. So you see this, and it makes it all worthwhile.
And we saw his reaction. What talk to you about this demeanor, like leading up to when they got verdict came in?
He was way calmer than I was. I mean, he was calming me down. So, like, I was more anxious and nervous. I mean, but that's always the way it is for me. You know, when something so important is about to happen. So he was really calm, cool, collected. At the end, obviously, when that jury started piling in, and you know, you can't read anyone's faces. You know, there was a tension that he said, "I can't breathe," and I said, "Neither can I." So that makes 2 of us. And you know, Chad and I've been together 22 years. I know how he feels. So it's just a moment of incredible angst. But when you have something like this happen, it makes it all worthwhile. It's great. It's great.
What do you think the key evidence was that made the jury make a decision?
The key evidence, the fact that there was no evidence. I think that was the key evidence. I think relying on Terrell Efron for any matter of importance in your life, a decision on a matter of importance in your life would not be possible for anyone with a brain. And the jury clearly understood that argument. And then when I pointed out to the jury that I got Detective Flores, their lead detective, to say without Efron's testimony, there's no evidence of a shooting one way or another that could be or that cannot be. that really was it. You know, I left 10 questions for John Lewin to answer. He didn't even look at one. And those were 10 important questions, including number 9, which was, without Efron's testimony, as the prosecutor asked, Detective Flores acknowledged that there's not enough evidence in this case to say that definitively there was a shooting. So I was surprised he didn't touch those questions, but I knew he couldn't answer them, and that's why I put him up there. So anyway, I think that's why the jury came. And look, it was a quick verdict, right? I mean, they started almost 10 o'clock. They had a lunch break. They watched the video, and they had a verdict. So, yeah, for a 4.
And they trying to say that they didn't have no evidence because the dude Relli picked up the evidence. How the fuck you get popped and you pick up the evidence and you ain't got no gunshot wound? What the fuck?
Basically, 4-week trial. When I heard there was verdict, I felt pretty good. Not overly confident because you just never know, but I felt pretty good.
You talked about.
I'm not leaving. I'll answer everyone's questions, so don't worry. Yeah.
You talked about your client's raw emotion.
Yeah, that's a crazy comedy movie. The A$AP Rocky gotta make a comedy movie on that shit. Like, they gotta make a comedy movie on that. This nigga say he got popped and he picked up the evidence and put it in the bag.
And we saw it. He dove.
Yeah, that was crazy.
To hug his family. He was not the only one that had a thunderous reaction. Talk about the reaction that we've seen from the public, supporters of his.
Yeah. Look, I've been here for over a month, and just me walking around, me. I'm not him, right? People were just wishing me luck for him. I mean, he's loved, very well loved in the city, and I think, he's got a lot of fans. And that doesn't happen because he's a singer. It happens because who he is as a person. A lot of what this jury didn't hear was who A$AP really is, who A$AP Rocky is as a person. He does incredible charity work. He gives back to the community. He's become a dear friend of mine, more than a client. And that's why cases like this are really difficult for me, because there's so much on the line. I mean, I care about every client I represent to the point where they become family. This was at a different level. And so I was just not prepared I would not accept any other verdict than this one.
Why was this one so different? You said you care about every client, but they were like family. What was so special about
He and I bonded over the last 3 years in a way that, and he's just a different person. I attribute that to him, the way he conducts himself, the way he's so appreciative with us, the way he is with I spent time with him and Rihanna at their house, and they're just, as humble and as can be for people with that level of success. They are really sweet, good people. And I would have been really, really hurting if this didn't go the right way. But, thank God we had a great jury.
Speaking of family, do you think the jury seeing A$AP with Rihanna as a family man and their children helped his defense?
No, I don't think that helped his defense at all. Look, everyone knows he had Rihanna. Everyone knows he has 2 kids. Sorry. I mean, I don't think the jury was like, all right, we think he's guilty, but look at the kids. I mean, so, I'm glad the prosecutors are focused on that in their summation. We didn't. The evidence in this case was deficient. I think that they need to be going after Terrell Efron. As I've always said, he was an extortionist. He was someone who we showed committed extortion. The tape that one of you all said was really good for the prosecution that we brought in turned out not to be so good for the prosecution. It was him repeating the same story that he'd repeated since day one. But what it had on there was, 1, him committing perjury to this jury, and 2, him acknowledging he wanted $30 million and he disappeared to an island. That's called extortion.
Did you see any lawsuit, towards Relli for these two?
For what? To get his $697 he has in his bank account? Even though, if you look on Instagram, he's a billionaire. But, I'm not suing Relli. I have other things in life to do. He sued us. And after today, I don't think that's going so well. So, but anyway, look, I'm just happy the jury came to the right conclusion.
All right, we'll have more from Los Angeles in the aftermath of the not guilty verdict. A$AP Rocky going home tonight.
It done got real, You heard, but he went home, so you heard. If there's a will, there's a way, GG's, you can't be having bad vibes, you heard, you gotta stay more righteous than never, if you mark it, we gonna spark it, if you ping it, we gonna sting it, if you drop the low, we gonna flock this low, you heard, if you tag it, we bring it static, hyenas, angels in the outfield, God chose you because he knew he could trust you, God's best kept secret, that nigga Relli, he's always, like, how the fuck you pick up the evidence, you did, like, who the fuck, this dude's mad weird, Shout out to A$AP Rocky, Rihanna, everybody, for them having, congratulations. And Life's what you make it, da. Like got meaning, da. So niggas better act like it, da. Like got meaning, bro. Real shit, da. So don't call a situation. It seems like he already had a motive to try to sue him and make a situation occur or some shit like that. Dude, Relli or something. He's a little, you know what I'm saying? He's a little weird, da. You gotta take it how it is, da. It's real shit, da. So it is what it is.